Gloves. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. All right. So today's risk score is just 2R. Actually, since it's NFP Monday, that might change it. Hold on, I just spilled. Yeah, since it's NFP Monday, that might still be. I might leave the door open for maybe 3R, depending on how clear I get on the price action here. Jeez. Alright, so we gapped up, everything took the highs, but Russell makes sense that they would come and sweep this. We still have the bearish flows pretty clearly, even though, end of day it did rally higher. Flows were still pretty overwhelmingly, well, not terribly. Oh, no, yeah, it was the tide was pretty bearish versus the flow was bearish, and then mostly calls came through to the end of the day, which makes sense for the gap up. But maybe now they're gonna play out those bear flows on the call side. Tide also kind of made a comeback with SPY. But yeah, it doesn't seem like they, whatever puts they, or whatever sold calls they had, doesn't seem like those were fully, like if price was going up the whole day and calls were going down the whole day, except for like the small legs up, and the volume was in the calls. But maybe what that means are more puts are being sold, because puts were negative too. But then it just went from 400Ks, 470Ks up to 800, so it doubled in volume. Puts kind of rising too, though. But in either case, we did take and sweep those highs. We have taken liquidity, YM especially. But then on top of that, on the regular stock charts, Dow Jones did not take those highs. It actually created relative equal highs on the high of day. So yeah, there's just a pool of liquidity on both sides for the range. And we do have SMT on the larger range, but on this small time frame one, We don't. But yeah, it looks like YM wants to probably return into the 4 hour at the least. And now we just need to check for SMT. So everything came up. Man. Everything came up in London for the Hive day. Oh look, yeah, Russell took those relative equal highs we were looking at. I don't know what happened to the fair value gap that was there. I thought there was a fair value gap there. What the, I swear there was a fair value gap there. Oh no, that was YM. Okay. Yeah, SMT here on maybe Russell, you could say. And YM has come below Friday's close, whereas all these guys are still sitting in the gap. Man, is this not gonna apply all for me? Goodness, dude. I was wondering why I couldn't see this. So there is that. Yeah, taking liquidity, swept the highs. YM on the higher time frame has now swept the all-time highs. And Dow Jones has not. If anything, it's just manufacturing that some more. We have clear S&T at this low, move up into a delivery. So yeah, it's just trying to figure out where's the next move going to occur. So took these relative equal highs on Russell, so it makes sense we're pulling back. I would think that this low, I thought we had S&T there, but we didn't. Because, yeah. And there's like a change in character there, since we're coming below the new week opening gap without everybody else. So it's just off. Okay. All right, well, we just need to go top down and just mark out all the levels first. 4 hour. We have a 4 hour developing, a shift down, but not yet completed. 1 hour. We have no displacements lower on Russell. Actually, we do. This one. It's a 1 hour there. Are there any relative equal lows? We had relative equal lows with London, and then what else? Yeah, I don't know. We're making some smooth lows here. But oh yeah, we have like this inverted area though on ES. So I'm not gonna trade the new week opening gap. That's not my thing. I don't know enough about it. So yeah, maybe this is like a long here. We've got, clear inefficiency. We're back into the inversion now. We're at CE. You got S&T right here. Like maybe that's something. Like Nasdaq's holding this right at CE. And between this high and this high, that's right at CE as well. So maybe, yeah, maybe we're gonna go back up. So I think I'd look for something to happen back up on these charts. So if there's like Dow Jones comes and takes us out and these guys are not, then maybe that's another possible short for me. Maybe I'd short Russell there. And if that doesn't really like set up, then I'd look for S&T between these guys to go short. Otherwise, honestly, there's not many levels for me to look at. The only levels is down below this, I think, on ES. Maybe there's something on the smaller time frame on these charts. Nope, not really. Weird though, like there's clear SMT here on Russell with the 4 a.m. open, but I don't, yeah, it's like conflicting, opposite things happening. Yeah, maybe they're gonna bounce it here. I mean, these were smooth highs. Ripped that up, made it jagged. So I don't, this is a no play for me unless we get below here, which also is a key level low, the PM low. So yeah, if ES gets below that, long NASDAQ. And then yeah, if we're just gonna keep going lower, then yeah, the next lows, these higher time frame lows, I just don't see it really like just dumping beginning of the week. That'd be crazy, but good. But yeah, I'm gonna fill this out while I need to change my little stream here. I forgot, I need to put it on streaming mode. Oops. And then I need to go to the bathroom, dude. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. All right. So yeah, I mean, we got the move below. We got, these aren't actually accurate. These are the micros. So we'll go back. Back to scene one. So yeah. Is this a session low? Nope. Let's see if we can make these just a little bit easier to see. And the words can stay white. Just make them pure white. There we go. And save as default. And oops, I want to leave that on that one. Get rid of the news. Get rid of that. And get rid of dude, where is the open? Did I choose the wrong one? Yeah, I did choose the wrong one. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Let's get rid of news. I don't like the regular trading hours gap anymore. Boom. And then we need news. Where's news? Boom. Alright, and then the same thing here. Delete. 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 Perfect. Alright, now things are a little bit easier to see. So, yeah, we've just been going lower, so at the lows, maybe we're going higher now because of the new week opening gap. Taking out there, S&T there, maybe some S&T on NASDAQ and ES here. At least to maybe like these smooth highs up here, maybe. Maybe our relative equal highs here. Just on that current area. So yeah, maybe that, you know, I don't know. But either way, I would have already missed that. It's not my style. Then maybe it's just gonna be a short from like right there. But who knows, dude. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait for this. Maybe there's something on these guys. I mean, maybe. I mean, yeah, I'll just soup that out. So yeah, just gonna wait for this alert to either go off or wait for the alert on ES to trigger. down there. Otherwise, yeah, maybe this was long and oh well. It's just gonna have to be okay with missing something like that. And the SMT occurred right here on this candle here. Boom. At 8 o'clock. And then at 8:15 still offered it. So you could say that, yeah, it might have been along there. Actually, funny, there is an SMT here right into that. But yeah, either way, gonna have to move on, man. Just let this keep going now until later. Well, just tape reading wise, they literally came up and just took out the smooth highs during the 830 range, and then now they're obviously rotating it back down to soup those other smooth lows, relatively cool lows. Maybe this is going to create another divergence reason to get long. Let me look at the 4-hour again. Yeah, we've completely rebalanced the range on Russell. So now we're really moving down. And that's a nice little market structure shift, and we created smooth highs here on Russell. And on top of that, it lines up with this high here, making me think we could come up here and soup that still. So maybe there's a long right here into the open. Yeah. Nasdaq's taking out the low. ES looks like it's about to, but it hasn't yet. Basically has, so it's not really there, the S&T. But it is kind of there on the Dow. And I wouldn't really want to get long until I got S&T with the Dow with Russell, if there is going to be one. But yeah, time's starting to come into play here in the next few minutes, so time to focus. And yeah, I'd be looking for these lows on well, I am probably this low, since it manufactured these as smooth lows, so gonna look for this, but it could, I kind of also want it to come take that out. That'd give me a bit more conviction. And I would just target these smooth relative equal highs. That lines up with the true day open, so that actually works really well. And the order block, you count that as the order block. Whoa, here we go. We're real close there. Technically, it's made SMT with like kind of a key level, so I just think that it could just be using the order block. I don't like it when it completely instantly rebalances like that. On the 1 hour, it's still kind of there on the 1 hour. So yeah, it's not terrible. Okay, it's completely rebalanced. I just think everybody's got their trailed stops here, so it's they might take that out and then give it. And yeah, I still kind of think ES might want that, so we'll see. ES has tapped into that. Nasdaq, nope. Maybe ES is gonna just use the new week opening gap. We're just making relative equal lows right on top of a 4 hour inefficiency, so it's just like, yeah, don't know about longing this yet. And yeah, we've already made the SMT, so it could Russell could already start going while they still come lower with it, but that's just what happens sometimes. And there is a nice little inefficiency here, too. So, yeah. Well, I made some relative equal highs just on the really small time frame. Dang, dude, I hope this gives it to me. It's gonna be annoying if it doesn't. Still got some time. You know what? This would be SMT with just about everything. So the question is, what's the draw for these guys? Is there anything smooth? Manufacturing the low even more. This is like a propulsion block. Yeah, this inefficiency is pretty clean. See if it plays. Maybe it's gonna go for this order block. Actually, higher time frame. This would be the order block. Yeah, I think it could hit this. That would actually be a lot more clean for if these are gonna go up too. I just like the smooth highs on Russell. That's just the main difference. There's not like as smooth stuff going on. Well, if I was to long this on like NASDAQ or something, yeah, I would want to see still probably some SMT with ES and NASDAQ to get long. So maybe, yeah, maybe once ES takes out the new week opening gap, while YM specifically takes out this uh, PM low, not the relative equal low, but the PM low. I'd prefer that, which, yeah, would get us a bit lower. The risk would be like something like that. Not great. Goodness. Getting all the liquidity here, I guess, at the open. I might just put it in a limit order using where they would trail on a. I almost just think they're going to come back into the 4-hour at 278.3. At that point, I'd put it.
Order working. Order working. Order working.
Yeah, maybe they're going to just come back into this 4-hour and they're going to soup out all these stops. It's like 2 points.
Order working.
All right, everything is there.
Order cancelled.
But I do think it's going to take out that PM low. So yeah, that's why I think we could get another order filled there. Nice. Once that happens, I might just enter market. Let me set another. Is there an alert there? Yeah, setting another alert there. For that, ES is about to take the new week opening gap out. So yeah, possibly along on that if that occurs. I don't want to get faked out by this. This could just be an initial rally to get everybody long, and then it's going to come and soup out all this. So we'll still see. Ideally, I would be in a lot more size right now, though, if we're going to get the move up. But I think The way this is moving, I think it is manufacturing that low again. And this is like support resistance liquidity from this Asia session. Oh yeah. Okay. Nice. The open is in just a minute and a half here, so still got some time to get some volatility here. I still think it may still come all the way down there, but we'll see. Because now it's all smooth down here. Alright, gonna get that finger on the trigger.
Order working. Order cancelled. Order working.
There we go. Yeah, I could have kept my orders there. I was right. Cool. But I think I miscalculated the size, so I actually got in more. I didn't. I mean, I should have gone in more. That's what I mean. I tried to get in more, which I succeeded at. So sweet. Looking good so far. 3 points of risk. Yeah, that's about perfect sizing there. And look at that. ES took out the new week opening gap low. NASDAQ rallying off of that. Russell still coming down. Hopefully we hold this. The drawn liquidity with Russell to me is just a lot more clear. So that's why I picked that. Hopefully I didn't make a mistake with that, but can't really help. Oh man.
Order stop filled.
Well, bummer. Looks like it's more bearish than I thought. I think must be wanting to go lower. All right. What's next? Well, I think it's just back to that other idea with this relative low on ES. All right. I might actually try NASDAQ
Order booking.
using the new week opening gap low, which is 47.75. Oh, 447. Because the long may still play. It's just the PM low is the real risk. So maybe Russell's just gonna manipulate anything there. And now we're getting some strength in the Dow. So we had some SMT there. So if it's gonna be bearish, I'd want to see YM go all the way to the highs. So I'm kind of gonna use my target on NASDAQ based on that. Oh, there isn't SMT there. Dang, I thought there was some. Mistook that. Well, the higher time frame play is still there. If it's gonna work. So yeah, Russell's just coming to tap that PM order block that we made the SMT on YM with. So I still think this could go. This still could be a long. Flows are pretty mixed, but still bullish. Qs bullish. Nice. Both holdings and Qs. I just forgot it's tricky to long this when we're using this level. So this still makes sense that it would do that. Since we're making SMT here, technically the risk should have been framed off of this, but yeah, that's just how it goes. And yeah, I'm just targeting the highs, smooth highs with the true day open at the least. And I went in with half size on NASDAQ. So if I'm right, I'll at least be slightly barely green. And that'll give me a few more shots if things happen quickly this morning. If not, no worries. still think Russell might be along. Those smooth highs they made were just so clean. Calls have reversed. It's not looking bullish anymore. Tide is still, it's coming down, but it's still bullish. Like it's so green on the day. YM's taking out the low again. NASDAQ went higher and took out the opening high while the others didn't. But yeah. Now we got some SMT with ES. Some more. I'm just gonna add one more.
Order booking.
We're 10 minutes past the open, so if this doesn't work, most likely done for the day. Just gonna have to review as usual. Yeah, there's very clear SMT now with NASDAQ. Very clear. I think NASDAQ may still take that low out, the opening low, but hold the new week opening gap possibly. Flows are really reversing now. Russell is fully into that PM order block. It's not the cleanest like level, but it is there. Still got relative equal highs on the Dow Jones. Clear SMT with SPY Qs. And clear SMT on ES and NASDAQ. Maybe ES is going to take those relative equal lows, which might be a little sketchy because that means my stop might be not in a good spot. But it did tap the lunch high, and that was like an old SMT looking area. So wow, flow's really bearish looking now. Volume is bear. Q Holdings is pretty bullish though, versus market tide on SPY. It's pretty bearish. Nice. That supports what I'm looking for. Cool. I'm gonna leave it here. ES hasn't taken out that PM low, so I'm just playing the new week opening gap, and it's gonna be a bummer if it just goes lower. So at that point, I wouldn't even take it anyways. Even if it came down and it made SMT using a new week opening gap, and then came and took out that level, and then set up another long looking similar to this, it would just be trying to catch a falling knife sort of a thing, because it's like, why didn't the new week opening gap SMT work when we had the YM SMT with ES? So this is the only trade for me, and it makes sense. And yeah, I think Russell's gonna bounce. I think Russell, he's just a tricky guy. Nice. There's NASDAQ moving. There we go. I wonder what Q's flows looks like now. Yeah, big flip. Nice. Let's get this trade to work out, and then we can get my day wrapped up. There are smooth lows here on ES now. If Nasdaq's going to take this high, that's kind of a question. Is this going to reverse? Because that is the 830 high. But the thing is, we do have SMT with ES too. So I would want ES to at least reach to a premium, which gives me comfort to keep holding this to where I think it's going to draw to. So yeah, holdings on Qs is super bullish. That's beautiful. We just want to see SPY start to flip. It's still pretty bearish. The tide is bullish though, overwhelmingly. So come on, baby. We're making smooth highs on those highs on NASDAQ, so it's at least going to take that out at some point. So yeah. Man, ES looking weak. Those flows. Wow. Man, maybe it is just NASDAQ today. Oh no. Wow, that's crazy. Whoa. That was just the micros there. That big move. That was gnarly. Look at that. That was not on NASDAQ's regular chart, nor on Q's. Q's has got some relative highs up at 569. That's gnarly, dude. That's so annoying. That's why I hate trading micros. I wonder if that was a glitch or if it really was the micros. Good news is Q's is still bullish, especially the holdings. Must be a stock driving this. Yeah, look at AMD. Maybe AMD. Wow, yeah, AMD's ripping. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, I just gotta keep in mind YM did sweep out a pretty big pool of liquidity, all-time highs. Though it did do it overnight. I think that I think it would just seem likely that the Dow Jones chart, stock index chart, would want to do it too. And it's still inside of the 4-hour fair value gap. It might just need to take out that candle on the 1 hour. Uh, Basically like this low right here. Yeah, I'm loving the mixed look on the tide at least. And technically, ES still hasn't taken those lows out. If ES takes out these lows, I will probably move my stop here because I wouldn't like, it's most likely gonna still be able to come all the way down here. And I'm just not a fan. Well, NASDAQ took out, oh, just on micros it did again. As not on actual NASDAQ. Wow. So there you go. Yeah, Russell's looking really weak too. YM's gonna take that candle out most likely. And yes, NASDAQ, really clean look here so far. But with the Dow coming down so hard, it's not the prettiest long. But I would think that ES would want to get into something since there's still SMT here. Yeah, there's this 4 hour now. So there is a premium PD array. I'm guessing it's the same thing on NASDAQ in 6 minutes. So yeah, it'll be a bit higher. Possibly just the order block up into here, which lines up with exactly where I'm targeting. So yeah, ES, we've at least got that 4 hour. Man, that's way too. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, tide is still. Let's compare this to prior day. Hmm. Yeah, NASDAQ still hasn't taken out that high. But I don't like that it's manufacturing it on the NASDAQ chart. There's relative equal highs here now. Yeah, just gotta be patient, I think. This might be a hold it till lunch trade. Let me look at the tide compared to, yeah, not a lot of volume yet. Qs, decent on Qs. Can't see the holdings, but that's, I mean, it's pretty big, 20 million at least in both directions. Yeah. All right, just gotta wait. Looks like on the higher time frame, Dow Jones is going to go for those lows. So yeah, this is going to set up a beautiful long, I think. Two minutes left. I'm hoping it touches into this before this candle closes. And then, yeah. Nice. Hopefully ES bounces. YM to take out that low. Yep. Tapped into the order block. Yeah, maybe we get a little retrace here. Back up, which would be nice. Russell, no SMT now. But yeah, still got it here on ES. It's gonna be so funny. I mean, technically, this is a 1 hour here, so there's something there. That's premium discount. Alright, looks like we did get a candle closure. So, but it's instantly filling it, so I'm still thinking it could still give me my target. ES at least wants premium up here. How are we looking on SPY, etc.? Nice big move down. Yeah, same thing. I think we'd want at least up into this inefficiency. If same thing with Qs. You got these smooth highs up here, which is exactly where I'm targeting, and maybe even higher. Holdings is just nice and juicy. Well, yeah, Nasdaq so far took out that news high. I don't like how it's making all these smooth lows on the way up, but YM is coming back up, so, and we've got an inefficiency on the 15 minute. Let me look. Obviously, inefficiencies, excuse me, on the 4. Yeah, maybe we're going to go back up into the AM high for some of these. Come on, bro. And now Dow's going up and Nasdaq's going down. That's annoying. Guess just gonna have to wait and see, man. Come on, man. Get up there, Nasdaq. YM bouncing on the 4-hour inefficiency. So probably at least gonna go above that high. So if it gets above there, then most likely Nasdaq will have delivered. And if not, it's just gonna be delayed, and I'll have to just wait a while, which is okay. Perfect. Not looking too bad now, man. It's 8:39. Oh yeah, maybe we're gonna refer back to this inefficiency. Yeah. There's a yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna set an alert so I can get a drink. excited because I'll be able to finally work out. I'll fully recover. Well, it looks like Tide has flipped very bullish. We look over here. That's nice while I was away. And I think YM's at least going to head up to there. And if it's going to do that, that doesn't make me scared of this high at all anymore. So if anything, this might actually go even higher. So it'll only be if ES isn't above this high while YM is. That's what will make me a little cautious, just because that's kind of a change in character. Maybe the SMT was only like an internal whatever delivery, whatever shenanigan thingy. Puts being sold, but calls are still. But there was no volume there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get it, but just gonna have to wait. And we'll get back into green on the day. That'll be nice if it works. Wow, YM almost took out the opening high. And ES has taken it out. ES has taken it out. YM's Nasdaq's taking it out. We've come back into the new week opening gap. Nasdaq gone above the new week opening gap. Russell, no, it's something there. What time is it? 10, 11. Dang, dude. Maybe that was it. The Nasdaq delivering over this high, and these guys coming up above the AM high. Man, I don't know. That's and above the opening gap. just would think that ES would want to go higher. If we're bouncing here and you got a really nice bounce and sweet there. Yeah. Alright. I was just worried about that AM high divergence. Alright, yeah. So yeah, I'd really want to see ES deliver stronger. So now it's like YM is very close to these highs. ES is not. So I think this may go a bit further than I even think. I think it may even make a new high. So I really want to see ES start to get strong. And if Dow Jones is going to keep being strong here, it's probably going for these highs here. And if it's going for these highs here, that probably means we're going to get a nicer move still to occur, but no promises. There was just a lot of uncertainty with NASDAQ and ES, so it just seems like this would want to go further than ES would want to go. So yeah, I mean, this is, there's no strength here in YM, so I'm going to move my single order all the way to the high for now, until I hear that alert on YM go off. If YM takes out those highs on the Dow Jones, then yeah, I would probably just get all out. So and the flow in the tide is starting to pick up, so I think there may be a nice move out of still in the cards. Yeah, look at that. Q's puts being sold at the top, higher high on the calls. That's not super strong, but it's there. Man. Just taking forever, dude. Are there any levels on ES that I should be aware of? Well, should be aware of these relative equal highs on IWM, on ES. Oh, look. NASDAQ has tagged the 4-hour now. ES has not. This just doesn't make sense to me. Why is YM so strong? There's no. Yeah, there is this inefficiency. don't know. It's 10:30, 10:20. I mean, it is making this a little bit smoother, so that's good. What about ES? No, it's kind of high resistance still. But these are kind of smooth. Oh, regular trading hours, this is just a swing high. What the heck, dude? What is going on? It's just gonna not give me a reason to exit. This is gonna take it. Dang, dude. Whoa. It's crazy. Well, flows are not looking good. Well, no, it's like completely rebalanced everything it could possibly rebalance, it seems like. 15-minute rebalanced. Some nice SMT maybe of the low on at least the Dow, but don't really know what that counts. Um, Just waiting for ES to do something, man. This pool liquidity below here is really clean. We do have SMT here. We've got, yeah, maybe that's all that's happening. This is actually a short, which offered at little bit past 10. Yeah, there's the SMT with the ES changing character. So yeah, maybe this is the short down to this pool of liquidity for later. The reason that it's just hard for me because there's no SMT here at this high, unless like you zoom in maybe. Really small time frame, which there likely is some. Not very clean. Yeah, not clean at all. YM. There's gonna be a short into there. How would it look? Well, I'd want to see still some clear. What the heck, dude? These micros are going crazy, dude. Is there news? I thought there was no news today. Oh, there's OPEC meetings. I don't know what those are. Oh, yeah, maybe there's some news going on. Well, yeah, how would the short set up? Well, yeah, you'd want to see some sort of SMT of a key level. Maybe a 30 level. Oops. I want to actually change the color. I can't see it. Let's make that like. Can't really see it. Black. Oh, you know what? I need to make it like bigger. Hmm. I think it might just be because the text is too small. Yeah, we should change the text to black. Yeah, that's a bit better. Alright, but yeah, how would we want to see the short? Well, we want to see a divergence with Russell into a key level, which never happened. It just went higher. Didn't hit the overnight. Same thing on this short. Yeah, there's just nothing there. Just gotta be patient. Just taking forever. I mean, this one didn't work. Why was it a short? Yeah, you could say the short was triggered by the SMT and SPY and Qs. And then the weakness in the Dow delivered. And now we're waiting for an SMT in the Dow. We had relative strength in Qs, and that you might be able to say that that delivered. But we need to see Dow create SMT either way. And we haven't seen that. So the Dow, I mean, maybe we have. The Dow's taking out the 830 level, but yeah, so has, but Nasdaq had relative strength. Maybe that's it. That's just like, okay, holy. Just like, what's the, I don't know. I just think Dow's delivered its weakness. We have the SMT. Nasdaq took out the AM high, and that's like, to me, that's like the tricky part, and that's like making everybody tricked out because they think, oh, maybe it's gonna keep going lower. But I think it's actually this high here. It's either that or it really is just this 830 high, because there is a swing high here on regular trading hours. And it does not look like EOS is going to take that. And it could be that this is just a short maybe, but down to this low. Yeah, this to me this doesn't make any sense. Whatever, bro. Gotta exit in an hour. The nice thing is on the lows, it is kind of jagged. So that's good. Just rough, rough structure. Wow, look, nothing's happened since I've been gone. That's so awesome. It's really developing this range right here. What does that mean? Well, we're in a giant inefficiency. I don't know. Why I'm about to got high. Well, it's taking out those little relative equal lows. On ES, it's a smooth low all the way to the lows. And, well, maybe it just really means they're going to move YM at some point. And yeah, this is an old inefficiency. We gapped through it, traded through it. Maybe we are going to use it to did we trade into it? Oh yeah. We already did use it to reject. So actually, yeah, I don't care about it anymore. So yeah. But this pool of liquidity still may be interesting because that kind of still respected there. I would expect it to still maybe use this as an order block or something. So, yeah, man. It's a really slow day. Whoa. So you're parking your like that? says that looks delicious. Yeah. Yo. Yo. Alright, see ya. My live stream's on. All right, well, we've swept the small time frame relative equal lows on NASDAQ. Maybe we're gonna use that to propose. I don't know how to say that, but get the liquidity run down on ES. In which case, NASDAQ may also go down, but looks like it's holding the new week opening gap. Just a whole lot of nothing, man. I thought today would be a great trading day based just on FOMC and stuff, but so far, just I mean, we did have a nice move from London till now, so it does make sense that the AM session would chop. PM session may be the play here today. And if that's the case, hopefully it plays in my favor and we can take another trade. But it's not looking like it now. Just keeps not doing anything, man. Flows pretty bearish on all fronts here on SPY. Qs also. Holdings aren't bearish, but they're not like super bullish. Kind of just flat. But yeah, I might have to adjust my stops here if ES is gonna come take these lows, because NASDAQ could easily probably trade much lower, and the new week opening gap as a stop probably won't work, since it could trade all the way down into there. And then at that point, it's like, okay, it's probably not even gonna bounce. But yeah, hopefully we're just reaccumulating on YM here. It ain't over till it's over. And it is almost 11. It's crazy. till it's over, man. If ES comes and takes this out, it's just game over, dude. And I have an alert. Because the trade wasn't just this SMT with NASDAQ, it was that they were both gonna bounce because of the Dow. And the Dow would need to go much lower. Or these guys would need to go much lower to create a new reason to get long, at least for confirmation wise. So, I don't know, maybe we're gonna use the AM session for something. I don't know, man. Lime is still kind of holding that inefficiency. So, I think I'm just burning myself out watching this damn trade, man. Burning my wheel, turning my wheels. I don't know what the term is. On Qs, there is like a little support resistance liquidity there. SPY, it's just smooth lows with relative lows. Dow Jones already made the nice move down. And yeah, there's nothing clean there. But yeah, I actually totally missed this. That not the move, but like that this was an SMT actually. So a play back down to the lows here on Dow is actually kind of nice. Yeah, maybe I did make a mistake. Maybe this was it really was the exit. Because if this is bear SMT, then nothing with the Dow should trigger a long here. And of course these are stronger. But I just thought, no, yeah, I was basing everything on that. So if we do reframe it, we have the SMT with NASDAQ, correct? Into, let's just reframe it. We had SMT with NASDAQ at the open here, right here, right here. So yeah, right at the open we had the SMT. So technically, I should move my stop there. But NASDAQ did deliver there. So if it's going to be still going to be continue to go higher, which it could. Maybe we're going to still target that. Maybe NASDAQ would manipulate lower and then trigger another long, but on ES. As for IWM, was there maybe, was this London? No. Dang, okay. Yeah, now that the logic for the downside is kind of making sense based on the regular charts, I think it's fair to move my stops to this low here because it's not looking too great for me. It looks like it may just all continue lower until NASDAQ or until the Dow takes out those lows. So I'm going to move this here. And if anything, ES is weaker. So it's like this, yeah, it's not looking good at all. And yeah, maybe ES is gonna sweep this out. And trigger another long, but I don't think so. I think what's gonna happen is gonna take that out, and then it's just gonna give that big push for NASDAQ with all these smooth lows. You can't tell here, but on NASDAQ, oh, you can, because we're on this screen. Yeah, these are just very smooth. Like, as long, if it takes this out, that's gonna trigger the run maybe to this, and then that's gonna trigger the run, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, darn. Yeah, if that was the case, I would have, there was relative equal highs here being manufactured, and I would have placed my stop at the low, giving me double the size, and I would have been able to, enter maybe in the same spot, but I would have gotten out for close to 3R, 2.5R. So not bad. And who knows, maybe it will still play, but now that I see that, I think it might be game over for me, man. But let's see. I mean, yeah, on the futures charts there is still S&P, so like yeah, I don't wanna, I'm not gonna exit for $50. I'm just gonna let it play now, take my loss. Nothing's looking bullish. Oh, Q's kind of bullish. Yeah, look at that. And yeah, I mean Dow is looking pretty bullish structurally. I think if Dow comes up and takes a high, I think I will exit at least the two. So and it looks like Dow's starting to move up, and that might line up with 8:30. So yeah, next 20, 30, 45 minutes, I might be able to exit here. That'd be sweet if I still be able to exit for something. Get back to break even on the day. That'd be nice. Yeah, we got smooth highs and lows on NASDAQ, so, and same thing on ES. Well, I'm just gonna mute this. Ain't not much else to say.
Order working.
Order filled.
Order cancelled.
All right, that's a wrap. I was like, it might be worth $10 to try get in one more if it's gonna hold that, but just basing it off the original idea. But yeah, obviously the whole play was wrong. Yeah. So I think we're just looking for could be along here again now that ES has souped all of this out, but at the same time, I think the drawn liquidity is actually the lows here on the Dow Jones now. So I'm done for the day. Gonna review this, make sure I write up why this all happened, how I could have avoided it, obviously by really making sure, okay, didn't understand why we were selling off other than Russell, but that never is a good, that's not ever what I use, and I should have just clearly checked that and used that. SMT on these guys does work sometimes, so, well, a lot of times. When it's not on here, it's usually here, so, alright, especially when the week opens like this, so yeah, but yeah, not a bad day, didn't lose too much, followed my risk rules, did a really good job there, been working on that, so it's not all bad. So it's good.